Special call meeting of the Board of Trustees of United Independent School District. Today is Thursday, March the 4th, 2021. Time is 6:01 p.m. And we are going to have board members present at the UISD boardroom at 201 Lindenwood, and we have some logged in through Zoom. If I can have members that are present that state their name for the record.
Ricardo Rick Rodriguez, present.
Francisco Frank Castillo, present.
All right, then we have online, we have
Ricardo Molina.
Alisa Oliveros.
Thank you, and myself, Ramiro Vélez. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands
One nation, under God, liberty, justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. All right, so I believe we have one public comment. We have Mr. Jose Obando, is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
No, sir, we're just.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon. My name is Jose Obando, and I'm here to talk about the session that's going to go with the board in regards to the appointment of school principals. It is of my opinion that pretty soon we're going to have a new superintendent, that's a fact. But it's my opinion that that superintendent should have every opportunity to succeed, and to do so, they should have all the tools that we can give or make available to him or her when she comes into the position. And I believe that the principal of a school is a key position, and we should wait until that new superintendent that is going to be working directly with these principals should choose that principal. I know that there's different points of views on this, and I understand that, and I respect those. But let's not lose focus here. The focus of the school district, my kid, all our kids, it's not a personal thing. And that takes me to the second issue, is that I have comments that there's for example, a trustee that has a personal relationship with one of the candidates. And if that is the issue, that they want to push one candidate for that position, that is a wrong thing to do. Even if that person is the best qualified, now they're casting a doubt in the qualifications. The best thing the person could do if they do have a personal relationship is to recuse themselves from any election of a principal for that school. I could continue to go on how many shenanigans have been happening, but let's not forget that what happened with the Washington Middle School, and this does not have to become, hello, Mr. Ramirez, thank you for coming in late. This does not have to become a circus. We can take control of this right now, or rather, you, the board, can take control of this right now. That's all I have to say, and affect the time of the board.
Mr. Obando, thank you very much for your comments. Appreciate you making the effort and going in person to the boardroom, sir. All right, with that, we'll move on to items for information. Go ahead.
For the record, Roberto Ramirez is present.
Mr. Ramirez, welcome.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much.
Welcome, Pascual.
All right, so we'll move to agenda item 5, items for informational consideration. Item A is the summary report of UISD district-wide facilities damages resulting from the extreme inclement weather experienced during the February 13th through 19th winter storm.
And Enrique is going to go over that report.
Good evening, members of the board.
Good evening.
Mr. Santos, Mr. Cruz, members of the audience, and public in general. We do have a summary consolidated report of all the district damages that were experienced during the last 2 weeks ago, February 13th to the 19th winter storm. You have a PowerPoint presentation. Go ahead. And you can see there on the first slide, just to give you an overall summary, I know it's extensive, over 127 damages that so far have been reported. About half of those have been already completed and repaired. But just going down the list, you can see a summary. Obviously, as the campuses are larger, or the facility is larger and more complex, the cost and the repairs increases. So we start with the elementary schools. Throughout the district, we had a total of $27,000 in damages, the majority being water lines, pumps, sprinkler systems, some HVAC, air conditioning units that run with water that were damaged. Then at the middle school, again, it increases, even though there's less campuses, they're more complex and they're larger facilities. So it's absolute to know about $58,000 in materials and damages. And then, of course, the largest campuses being our high schools and ninth grade campuses. Again, it increased approximately close to $64,000 damages that we incurred. And then our support service facilities, it's about $118,500. That is a little skewed because one of the facilities, which is our most complex, Central Food Production Center, experienced the largest damage on our steam boiler systems that are really the heart of the operation for food preparation. The next informational item will go more into detail on that particular item. But everything else, as far as facilities for support, it's about $118,000. So as you can see the summary for entire district, up to date, it's about $268,000 in damages for this 127. So just
go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Okay. Yeah, just briefly, just to show the list of all the campuses that were affected. 32 of our 45 campuses experienced some type of damage. Like I mentioned, some were minor, and there's a very detailed report for you all to look at your own leisure. But elementary schools probably are worst repair or damage that we already repaired. It's at Juarez Lincoln Elementary School at DDHR. And then on the middle schools, Washington Middle was probably our worst, of about $38,000 there. Juarez Lincoln about $12,000. And in the high schools, we were fortunate. Some of our, larger high schools, like United High School, Alexander, there were no damages or very minor. But OBJ, Sidney B. Johnson High School, and United South High School did incur some damages. On the next slide, we just summarize the list of our facilities, support service. And again, going back to the elementary, there was 101 incidents, and on the middle schools, there was a total of, we had 26 incidents on all our support facilities that we wanted to explain a little bit more on that. So basically, the largest one, like I mentioned, was the child nutrition department. But we did incur in our facilities at Service Saunders, at Yale Administration Building, both Transportation North and South, Police Department, the SAC, and Kruger Field. But just to summarize, and it's a very detailed report that I provided, that we can go into detail if you have any particular questions on any of these.
These were all repaired already as we speak, right? Everything was taken.
About half of them have already been repaired. The other half have materials in order, but whatever has not been repaired, we made arrangements to ensure that we had a backup system or a portable unit or generator or another rerouted line to ensure that every facility was back online.
The $268,000, did it come out of the budget or is it from?
It's out of the budget. Lila will have to make some adjustments. No, they probably don't have enough money facilities to be able to take care of those dates. So Lila and Sam and obviously looking at coming out of, general fund, out of accounts that obviously we're not spending.
Insurance would cover it.
Well, we are, send all the documentation visit with FEMA. Insurance also is involved. Yes, our insurance has been involved, and you see some of the pictures and stuff that Mr. Haley and the risk management department. So we're going different areas to see if we can cover this, but I think FEMA is also one area. We're also dealing with FEMA on the public. But yes, so we have to cover, not all parts are here, but I think all buildings are functioning.
Correct. Yes, we're working closely with risk management in the county and the city to ensure all these damages and repairs are documented and submitted for builders insurance coverage. Now, like Mr. Santos mentioned, our priority during the storm, of course, a lot of us damages throughout the city. The power outage for almost 5 days really caused also a lot of damages throughout. But we were working as best as we could, and to ensure that by Monday, the 22nd, when staff, teachers, students were going to be back on campus, that we had everything up and running. As mentioned, all of our campuses had water, heaters were back in good operation, they were safe and ready to go for the first day of school when we came back. But we continue repairing everything as best as we can, because materials, in all honesty, they're in great demand throughout the state. Locally, it's hard to find any plumbing. Plumbers right now make more money than lawyers and doctors. They are very
I'm sorry, tell me back to sort of this question. I also want to know, is this money coming out of the operating budget?
Yes,
or-
yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes,
that's
sir.
where it's coming. There's no.
Yeah, general funds, on a general funds operating budget, yes.
Okay, there's no, our buildings are not insured, I guess, for like a homeowner's.
They are insured, but obviously there's a deductible, but these repairs have to be taken care of right now. We gotta pay, gotta buy equipment supplies.
I see.
And we're trying to see if we can get reimbursed either from the insurance or, for FEMA.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
very good. That makes sense to me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I mean, we want to thank, very grateful. The administration gave us a lot of support to ensure that we get all the parts. We were fortunate that a lot of the materials we had in stock, so we were able to take care of the major damages throughout the district. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank all the support personnel that really came through. They were ready, willing, and able to go even in low temperatures in the 20s. We were out there fixing, because we try to minimize and cap and put a stop before it got worse. So I want to thank all the.
Well, you are, I think I should compliment you, because I think it's very important that you were out there in the freezing temperature that your staff, I mean.
Yeah, we had over
And I know
40.
that the administrators
Correct.
are out there too, looking at things, so.
Yes, I mean, we had a lot of assistance, yes, sir. From UPD. I want to be very, very thankful, because UPD was all over. When we had the power outages, many of our campuses didn't have electricity, no lighting. So they were out there ensuring that the buildings were secure, safe. And anything they noticed, water leak or whatever, they notified the administration. Immediately we got our crews in gear to get going and repair everything, get materials as best as we could. So there was about 40 different trades. I want to thank also all the custodians at the campuses. Many administrators went out there, 1, 2 in the morning to help us get everything under control. So there was a team effort. Also, the city of Laredo, AEP, were really working, 24 hours a day to try to get us back online, and everything was very successful. For Monday, February 22nd, we're up and running. I don't know if anybody has any other questions.
On this, did it play out, like when we had people on call and all of that? Was there overtime included on all of this?
Well, basically what it was, and that's what we're looking at now, because we really paid all the employees 40 hours whether they worked or not that week that the board had approved. And we are looking at this particular group of employees, because they were out there on a real hazardous circumstance. So to respond to you, yes, we're gonna address that, especially all the employees that were out there. We had a lot of hourly employees. I think, go back to what Enrique said, we had a lot of custodial staff there, facilities, food service, everybody all over the place. So to respond, yes, so we're gonna deal with it.
Okay, yeah, that'd be good for them to get their overtime.
Absolutely.
Especially in this crisis that we went through and they started.
Yeah, absolutely. They were out there, going back to what Mr. Whitehead was saying, they were sending us pictures of water leaks and broken lines.
we're always getting copies of that, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and that helps us a lot, because that helps facilities identify where we have some issues and immediately address them. So really, police have a lot to do with keeping us abreast, and the other item is keeping our buildings safe, because there was no power, no alarm system or video system.
Very useful, once in a lifetime, event, all over Texas, of course, but here, I mean, I have never seen anything lasted that long and to the extent. So we were fortunate that we were able to get everything back online for Monday.
I want to congratulate all your employees, because I know that they were on call, a lot of them, and they were always responding to whatever need the school district needed, and they responded really good. And just like I've always told it, every time that I have been there, they're just like the Marines, the persons there.
You're right, Mr. Ramirez, when Mr. Rangel made the call, there was no hesitation from the employees. Same thing at the schools, campuses, departments. I mean, they rose to the occasion, and it really, I think, saved us a lot of money. Because had we not been able to address those issues with the freezes, it would have been obviously probably double, triple of those expenses.
This time I'll pass on to child nutrition. They have a little more detail on our largest, more severe damage.
Thank you, Mr. Rangel.
Thank you.
That's gonna be agenda item 5B, Ramiro. 5B.
Yeah, it's update on damages sustained by fire alarm system waterline break at the FPC and power outages at the campuses and food service production center. Go ahead, ma'am.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Santos, Deputy Superintendent Rendon, administrators, and members of the audience. My name is Ariana Valdez. I'm the Operations Manager for UIC Child Nutrition. I'm here to present that informational item to the damages sustained at the Food Production Center and at our campuses due to the losses. If you want to go to the next slide. Okay, so due to the freeze, the Food Production Center on Bob Bullock Loop suffered a major fire alarm sprinkler system waterline break in the second back section of our freezer. 1,730 cases of food were damaged, along with 409 1 to 2 gallon bags of food. The estimated food cost of the damage to that area was $66,930.98. Next slide. So this is when our staff went in on Wednesday. We had no power at the facility at the Food Production Center Tuesday, probably since Monday. And then on Wednesday they went in, and if you want to play the video, you can see. That water were damaged. We couldn't serve them. They did not have the temperature, or we would not serve those for consumption, obviously. You want to go to the next slide? Our staff let us know that when they got there was like 6 inches of water all in the freezer. And since our freezer is normally at 0 degrees, it ices, so it was very slippery and hazardous for our staff to be in there. Go ahead, Anthony. That is, for those of you that have been to our facility, our maintenance staff come in to put a stop to the water leak, shut off water lines, and our drivers to help get all the food out of the Food Production Center. So this was on Thursday. I reported this on Thursday. We could better. We had night back on Thursday, so that some of the area that had already been moved in the dark. So the boxes are soaked. Water went all the way through the back section of the freezer. Thankfully, it only ruptured there, not in the front. The next slide. And then the next video is just, this is what they had. It was really disheartening to see so much food, go to waste. And it was because we didn't have power that the water lines froze and ruptured.
And the damages amount that we have here, the food that got damaged, that's not included in the damages that we lost.
No, this 66,000 is for the food loss. Mm-hmm. And then at the schools, what we had is every manager, they went in also during the week that we were home because of the freeze. And they had to do inventory on all their products and what was lost at all the schools that had, I think it was 17 schools that had lost power. And with all the schools combined, we lost $57,723.57 worth of food items. So the total combined loss just on food loss is $124,654.55. We did have a meeting with the Texas Department of Agriculture yesterday, and we were hoping they were going to say that they were going to maybe try and fund us or help the districts, but they said we needed to file it through our insurance carriers. And then,
Go ahead.
yes, and then the next one is just the donations. We did, we were able to help the city. On Tuesday, they had called and asked if we could go in. So myself, Mr. Ramirez, Ana Gutierrez, Nomi Reyes, and two of our warehouse staff went in to get cases out to donate to the city. So we donated to the city 5,700 snack items and 2,100 juices for them to serve there at the LEA. And on Friday, when the staff went in, they were able to pick up support services, helped us a lot, and they picked up the food we were going to serve to donate to the colonias and to community centers, the Webb County Community Centers and School Administrators Teachers District. They helped us deliver 832 dozen servings of tamales and 3,097 pints of assorted milk. And you all know at that time it was hard to find milk at the grocery store. So, and the other ones are just pictures of us when we were in the dark getting the cases out of the warehouse. So, I don't know if y'all have any.
How are y'all doing that?
We're doing good. Our staff is back at work Monday. They went in at 5 in the morning to serve the grab and go meals. Our numbers have been very good. And I think it's because a lot of people did lose power and there was not enough groceries at the store. We had a high participation all this week. Close to like 17,000 breakfasts and 17,000 lunches are being picked up at the school.
You're not at 100%.
Oh, no, we're not near what we are in a normal school year. Normally we can serve between, depending on the menu items, up to like 60,000, 60,000 meals. So we're a little bit less than half that we normally serve. But it has been very steady, like for the grab and go meals, and our staff has been working really hard in the cold weather to even like right before the freeze.
What do you anticipate is going to be your timeline to get back?
Well, I think it would be when the students go back to school.
Yes, 100% on the feeding,
Yes,
What, back to where
where we were, if I have to be, when we go, I'm staying whole district face to face.
Yes.
That's the only time I think that we'll ever get that, you know, we've been publicity, letting people know that the grab and go is available.
right.
And we just haven't hit the numbers that we were hoping, but I think going back to they've been going up slowly.
Right, and I think that the only reason we have these numbers right now is normally during the program that we're under right now, we're operating under summer food service program. Normally they have to eat at the campus, but since they did a waiver, USDA and TDA, they're allowing them to pick up and take it home. So I think that's why our numbers have been good, but then you have a lot of working parents maybe, you know, can't send somebody to go pick up.
And damage wise, how are you on the recovery there?
We're doing very well. Obviously, we lost all those food items. We did send everything to risk management so they can see if we can claim with the insurance. But we've been operating every day since you all said we're back at work, and we were back, actually the staff went in Thursday and Friday of that week to get ready.
And that's part of Mr. Ortez's presentation. Damage.
As far as the damage, the water leaks, but this separate, this amount is strictly on food.
Yes, the
And what
information,
equipment?
right, the information Mr. Van Head has is equipment, the steam, the water lines, and what we need to repair, right, and this is just the food.
Did you have to store the spoiled food for evidence, or did you have to do any of that?
We just did video documentation, and then we write our reports. We have to fill out certain information for TDA saying what was damaged, why it was damaged, and we submit that.
And then you dispose of it.
Right, we just dispose of it, yes.
I'm wondering also, because there was a very cold weather, did all the food get spoiled? I don't know, maybe.
The food that got spoiled with it was only the water damage. Our freezer is always at 0 degrees, so it can last up to 10 days without other food. So if there wouldn't have been a water line break, even though our production center did not have power, we would have been fine. We wouldn't have lost any food.
But the water caused the damage more than the.
Right. And at the school, since the refrigerators and freezers obviously are smaller, it's not this giant warehouse of a freezer, those only last a few days. So being out that week, we did lose quite a bit of food there. Not a lot, but yes.
On those freezers, Was there any damage to the food that was there on the freezer? Was there any damage to the food that was in the freezers?
Yes, that's what was thrown out. So wherever the water was dripping onto the cases and it saturated the boxes, so obviously it didn't meet the temperature that was required for us to serve to the students. That was thrown out. But we have, if you all have been to our facility, we added a new section to the freezer. So all the first section of the freezer, everything we had stored there was fine. And then anything that was closer to the first part of the freezer that didn't get water damage, we were able to salvage as much as we could that met the temperature that was required, and that didn't have any water damage.
Is there any insurance into those damages that's caused to the food, sir?
Well, I mean, absolutely, we're doing a combination of all expenditures that we have during that week, working through our risk management department. And at the same time, we're also working with FEMA. I know how to see if the XR culture can help us out too. So we're hitting all areas and we try to get some support there.
One thing that I keep to my mind is let's try to look into putting some kind of a transformers so that when the light goes out for those warehouses, especially the food department in some areas, so that whenever the light is cut off completely, to have those emergency lights come on.
We have them, but what happened there, Mr. Ramirez, had they not had the water leak, everything would have been salvaged. It would have been an issue. It was a water leak, obviously because of the temperature that they're frozen. All freezers there at the food production center up to 10 days without any electricity, they're gonna hold the temperature.
And if you all haven't been and you want to take a tour, just let Mr. Ramirez or myself know and we'll schedule something so you can actually walk through the facility. I mean, I know some of you have been out there, but maybe if you all would like to go and see. But the freezer, yes, like Mr. Campos said, if it had not been for that water line break, we wouldn't have lost
Well,
that
that gives me a good
66,000.
question that I have is, do we have 24-hour employees there or?
No, we don't. No, sir, we don't.
Or police presence? Or?
Well, I mean, police was all over the place, but what happened when the power went out, I mean, that's the issue, we're all over the place.
Right. And we did have police go and we thank them obviously because when you have that fire, the water line break, they have to have a fire watch.
Okay.
So they have to be there checking on the building to make sure that there's no fire, because there won't be any water to turn it off.
How many days were you under chambers?
Well, that whole
Almost
week.
a whole week.
Yeah. On Monday is when we lost power to the production center, and on Thursday is when it came back, and on Wednesday evening, Tuesday evening to Wednesday morning is when we have the water line break.
Sweet. Thank you, man.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ms. Valdez. All right, moving on to agenda item 6, closed session. Board will adjourn into closed session pursuant to the following sections of the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551.071, Texas Government Code 551.074. Time is approximately 6:29. We'll be back shortly. All right, time is 7:41 p.m. The board will take appropriate action on items if necessary as discussed in closed session, reconvening from closed session at the moment. Mr. Santos, action number, letter A, action regarding appointment of United High School principal.
Yes, Mr. Bailey, members of the board, my recommendation for the principal of United High School is Ms. Jessica Salazar.
I make the motion that.
Second, Ricardo Molina, second.
So we select Jessica Salazar for United High School principal.
Thank you, Mr. Castillo, for the motion. We have Mr. Molina as a second. All those say, any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
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 All those opposed? None opposed. Motion passes. Congratulations to Mrs. Salazar.
Congratulations, Salazar.
All right, item B, action regarding appointment of Borchers Elementary School principal, Mr. Santos.
Yes, my recommendation at this point in time is to table this agenda item.
I'm
Second.
All right, so a motion, a second, any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
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 All right, motion passes. We we will not vote on item C. Is that correct, since we did not discuss?
Do you have something on item C?
Yes, yeah, it's really more discussion. It could be action item.
Okay.
Vote. I think it's a real good plan for what was schools.
Members of the audience, Santos,
Gonzalez?
at this time, we bring this item, our Department of Curriculum Instruction, requesting a board approval for implementing an early college academy United South High School beginning this next school year for incoming ninth graders. Is academy will provide 100 students the opportunity to earn an associate degree, 60 hours upon graduation. I've asked Angie Sanchez, one of the directors, to join us in the 4-slide presentation, really brief. Ms. Angie Sanchez.
Yes, good evening. Can you all hear me?
Yes, good
Okay,
evening.
great. Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Santos, members of the board. My name is Angelica Sanchez. I am the Career and Technical Education Director, and I also oversee the early college programs. The Curriculum and Instruction High School Department is requesting approval to expand our associate's degree program in partnership with Laredo College at United South High School. With board approval, United South Early College Academy will be UISD's third early college. Students in the program would earn an associate's degree, which is 60 college hours upon high school graduation. In terms of the specifications, we plan to start in August of 2021 for ninth grade students entering high school in the 21-22 school year. And as I mentioned, it would be an Associates of Arts degree. 100 students would be selected per cohort and selected on a performance blind lottery like we do our LBJ students. The recruitment breakdown would also be of the 100 students, 76 students at United South from the United South High School feeder pattern and 24 from the remaining feeder patterns, which would be 8 from Alexander, 8 from LBJ, and 8 from United High School. In terms of the administrative personnel, the principal would assign a current assistant principal to oversee the program. 1 counselor and 1 clerk would be needed in the second year of operation, which is a 22-23 school year, in order to successfully monitor, support, and guide the students towards high school graduations in both institutions. What you see here is a list of the 21 courses that would be needed for the associate's degree. Students in the first year would be 10 hours, second year would be 15 hours, their junior year would be 15 hours, and of course their senior year would be the 20 hours needed to complete the program. In terms of their adjunct staff, for the exception of the Spanish, which they currently have a vacancy, United South has the credentialed faculty to offer all the college courses listed in the program. Thus, the savings, this would be a savings to the district in terms of tuition. Based on our MOU, it would cost the district, it usually costs us $5,500 to graduate 1 student with an associate's degree. So if you multiply that times 100, we're actually saving the district or not incurring the expense of $550,000 per 100 students in the cohort. Then this is really attributed to the UCAN program, which started back in 2017, that allows our district to grow our own adjunct faculty. The district is now beginning to see the results of that program. And it is currently being monitored and overseen by Mario Rosales under the Advanced Academic Department. Mr. Gonzalez, would you like to continue with the textbook and stipend expenses?
One thing that Ms. Sanchez has not mentioned also is the fact that with these students, the magnet school in United South will continue, and those students would also be part of the early college academy as well with the lottery. So it kind of goes both ways. As far as the stipend and cost for the first year, it'd be $49,300. That's really mainly on textbooks. And when we go on our second year, it's $69,755. Probably the fourth year would be $144,000. We're looking at by that time the potential 100 students getting an associate as well as a high school diploma. The next slide. Finally, the timeline is there. We get it past the date, we'll start our projected timeline so we can begin classes in August. And again, I'd like to thank the board for your support. And I will tell you, as far as the other high school, we are looking at Alexander United. At this point, is an avenue for us to continue with our instruction beyond this high school to help our students mainly in the south, and eventually we'll start at the north. Thank you.
Congratulate you. I think LBJ was successful, is successful. I think United South will be successful.
Yes, Mr. Montemayor, if I can make a comment. LBJ is on track to graduate 169 students with an associate's degree this May. So, this is the toughest year for them, but they do have 169 students that are headed that way. So hopefully we'll have those numbers by May.
I think these programs, the ability to change the face of the community, where they're located, and it improves Laredo and United. I'll be breathing down your neck to get Alexander and United. I congratulate you and
For clarification, you said there were 3, is this the third one?
Yes, because there's 2 at the LBJ, early high school, and we have the Blicia program as well. There's 2 early college at LBJ. This will be the 3rd one, which we
Explain what the Blicia is.
The Blicia really is for the medical field, more help and science.
Well, I mean, I'm all in support from what the mayor was talking about. This is excellent. We need to do and change the community with this education. I don't go to Alexander too much, but we need to do something about the magnet program. It's been spread out too much. In my opinion, we need to do something that concentrates and do some more things at the magnet, at Health and Sciences at Alexander. And I think a lot of people are interested in the health career, and this pandemic has taught us that. Okay, that's just my comment.
Yes, and just for the record, we've already met multiple times with OC. I've personally spoken to Dr. Solis, and I'll be going to their board meeting next month for sending our findings for the early college at OBJ. And hopefully this approval will also be advising them of our commitment to continue working with the college.
One of the items that I know that Ms. Sanchez shared with you, but she didn't emphasize it enough. I think what's making these programs good for us is the board had approved, I think in 2017, to be able to get our teachers start going back to get a master's in the subject out that area. When they do that and they teach the early college, we don't pay any tuition. And that has made the difference. I think it was board support. We got those people going to TAMU in their masters. And we have a little contract that Mr. Cruz did for us that they've got to stay with us so many years to be able to recoup the amount that we're paying for their tuition. But I think that's been the key.
I think it's all a win-win situation for us.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
I congratulate what you've done, Mr. Gonzalez, and your staff, what you've done. Do we vote on this?
You need to make a motion
I'll make a
to
motion to
recommend.
vote.
A second.
third.
Yeah. All right,
Thank you.
that's great news. So, all right, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
All those opposed? None opposed, motion passes. Mr. Gonzalez, appreciate the information. Thank you for the hard work. Mr. Santos, all this, I know it's a collaborative effort. So obviously our United South students and other students from the other high schools will greatly benefit. So looking forward to establishing and implementing the program there. All right, so with that, that's the last item. We'll move into adjournment. Time is 7:50 p.m. We have a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second. Backup squad.
All right, we have a motion.
Aye.
All right, 7:50 p.m. We adjourn. Thank you very much.